Hey YouTube, Repo Man 64. It's the 11th. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It becomes the 12th in Israel at nightfall, which I didn't look at the time, but it's got to be 7 something. So about noon today, in 2 hours. I'm making this video now, and I'm not going to upload it until after 5 p.m. today. Because I'm watching for the rapture. I'm watching. I'm excited. I hope it's today. I pray it's today. It's what I look for. It's been unrealistically quiet around the planet. I think everybody had to stop doing what they were doing for Obama's birthday party because he didn't want to be interrupted. So it's been quiet for a few days. And but I'm making this video now, 10 o'clock in the morning, almost 10 o'clock in the morning on the 11th, and I'm not going to upload it until after 5 p.m. today. 5 p.m. today, after 5, it becomes after midnight, and I want to wait because perhaps the midnight cry goes out in Israel at midnight. So I want to wait for that. I have been looking, as you know, at the Enoch calendar. The first day of the year, every year, is March the 17th, from what I understand in the Enoch calendar. March 16th is the last Sabbath of the year. At some point, somewhere in the year, there is a day out of time. That was the war that God stopped time for 24 hours for them to win. That's the day out of time. Sabine Vlaming is very much into this as well, and a lot of what she's showing is echoing what I'm saying, although she has more detailed stuff. So I would suggest watching Sabine Vlaming's YouTube and learning more about this Enoch stuff. This Enoch is not in the Bible, and it's not supposed to be. The Bible was designed for salvation. That's it. It wasn't designed for trying to figure this stuff out. It teaches us what we should be looking for, and what we should be looking for is what's going on in the stars. And Enoch was translated. He's a very important character in the Bible. He was taken by the angel Uriel up to the 7th heaven, where he could see the 10th heaven, and he was able to see the inner workings of this entirely huge clock, which, remember, we're looking at this clock from the opposite side. When you look at a clock in a mirror, time's running backwards. It's the same thing for us. We're looking at this clock from down here, but actually the clock is supposed to be looked at from up there. And that's why the angel Uriel took Enoch up there. He is the 7th born from Adam. He had a son named Methuselah. Methuselah lived 969 years, the longest living patriarch in the Old Testament. Methuselah had a son named Lamech, and Lamech had a son named Noah. I said in my last video that I believe that Lamech had passed away sometime previous, but Methuselah asked God, please don't kill me with the wicked. So I believed, and I said this in my last video, that he passed away right at the flood, and his grandson would have buried him, which was Noah. And then that's why Noah sat in the ark for 7 days, waiting for the flood to begin 7 days later, because they were paying their respects to Methuselah. Now, I'm still working on all these dates. I want you to notice something. The head of the year was changed by Moses. The head of the year used to be September 25th. Then God changed the head of the year to March. So that means Noah would have been on the other calendar. So the distance, and we go from equilux to equilux. The distance between the spring equinox and the fall equinox is 192 days. And the distance between the fall equinox and the spring equinox is 172 days. There are 10 days missing. 10 days out of whack right there. So, there is a passage in Enoch which has always captured my attention and really made no sense. I don't understand it. It says, they will observe the moon and bring in the season 10 days too soon. Well, this is only true twice a year. It doesn't happen every year. But Enoch says it happens every year. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying that we are observing this time 10 days too soon. I believe, and I was talking with Aaron last night a little bit, and Aaron is looking at the 22nd, 23rd for Israel. We are looking at the 11th. I think we're 10 days too soon. I think our first day is the 22nd, and you go on down the 10 days, and I think I'm looking at the 22nd, the 23rd as well, for a completely different reason. And like I've been saying, I think all these calendars are going to converge. I think that every single one of them is going to make sense. I think God has just allowed Satan to mess up the calendars, but in the background, God's like, I'm going to make it work out anyway. I don't care what you do with the calendars. It's all going to work out anyway. So I pray it's today. I pray it's right now. But I'm seeing the 22nd, 23rd. And there's a lot as well. I don't know what Sabine said. I don't recall if she was looking at the 22nd as well. There's some celestial events that happen on the 22nd. But here's why I'm looking at the 22nd. First of all, it says 10 days too soon. So September 25th is the equinox. But it's too far away. It's 10 days too far. In order to split the year in half, you would have to go from March 17th to September 15th, or March 16th to September 15th. 182 and 182, because the Enoch calendar has 364 days in it. So if you go to September 15th, which I have done, and you count forward, because the flood happened in the second month and the 17th day. If you count forward, the second month and the 17th day lands squarely on Halloween. Right on it. You can't make that stuff up. It just happens. Like Watchman on the Wall 88 says, you can't make that stuff up. Now, if you paid attention to the flood, and you'll notice that Methuselah dies 1 week before, and that's why Noah goes into the ark, and that's why Noah sits in there for 7 days. They are mourning Methuselah, his grandfather. He sits in there for those 7 days, and God as well is respecting that time for those 7 days before the flood begins, to ensure that he is not, there would be no way it would be counted among the wicked during this flood. So what does that mean? It means 7 days before the flood, on the 10th, second month and 10th day, Noah would have buried him. 7 days. I'm suggesting that, and I would love Sabine to get into this because she really knows Enoch so much better than I do. But I'm suggesting that as in the days of Noah were, so shall the Son of Man coming be, that we take and back up 70 days from Halloween. You back up those 70 days from Halloween and you land exactly where Aaron is looking at over at God a Minute on September the 22nd, 23rd for Israel. It is too perfect. It's way too perfect. Count 70 days from August 22nd and you'll land directly on Halloween. Now, the end of the year for the Jews, they're calling it September the 8th. They're wrong by a week. I proved that with Tu B'Av and Tish B'Av. They're off by a week. So the actual end of the year is September the 15th. There we are back at that September the 15th. You count forward the second month and 17th day, 47 days, and you land directly on Halloween again. It's beautiful how it's working out. Again, I'm not uploading this video It's really bouncy. I'm not uploading this video until after 5 p.m. today, because I hope it's today. I really hope it's today. I'm curious what Dr. Barry is looking at. I don't know what his day is, but I can as much work as he does and as faithful as he is, I believe that God's going to lead him to a similar time. I've said that before as well. I've said that before as well. I'm almost over this thing. Literally, my lungs just started clearing up the past couple of days, so I have a cough every now and again, but not like as bad as it was. As faithful as Dr. Barry is, and as much as he's studied and worked, a bazillion times more than me, I feel that he's going to come to a very similar date within 3 days. I think we're all going to fall within 3 days. There's just so many hard workers out here. Worship and Watch, he put out a how do you call it, a little question to see what people wanted to talk about. And one of the questions was, he had a bunch of questions, but one of them was, you want to talk about when Jesus is returning, and it hit like, I think 71%. So I think pretty much everybody that's in this community is watching like we're supposed to, and we're waiting. So I'm looking at the 22nd, 23rd, unless it happens right now. But I think we're 10 days too soon. I really believe that. Little passage that's in that Enoch, that's in the book of Enoch, that we call it in 10 days too soon. I really believe we're 10 days too soon. And I think over the next few days, I think a lot of them are going to come up with a lot of stuff, Steve Fletcher's putting out a video. He's so excited. He's putting out a video literally every hour. He's coming up with stuff, news clips and everything else. He's a great source of information in our Discord that we have, because we just put up we put up all the Watchers videos in there, and we have the Discord's grown to, I think it's nearly 800 now. It's crazy. It's growing like crazy. A lot of people from all around the world. There's a little tab at the bottom. You click on the 3 bars and it opens up all the rooms that you can look into. And one of the rooms is called Where Are You From? And down there at the bottom, you can go in and put where you're at in the globe. And then Xena goes in and she puts your globe on this map of the planet and shows where you're from, and it's spectacular. You ought to see this. There's literally people from around the world in this Discord, and I love it. It's fantastic, and we're all in there talking and trying to figure this stuff out and helping each other. So just keep watching. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep watching. Remember, more importantly, this is all for the bride. This is what we're doing right now for the bride. We're watching, trying to figure it out. But are you a tribulation saint? Are you 144,000? Are you a millennial saint? I don't know. I don't judge those things. I have no idea. All are ultimately, the millennial saint will be tested again to see who they will follow at the end, because Satan will be loose. But all will fall into their categories. All will be who they want to be, who they are. You'll recognize them, and that's who they are. That's who they want to be, Anyway, RepoMan64, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will post this today at 5 something. We'll talk to you later, YouTube. Keep watching.